Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. The last review that I did was for an establishment that doesn't release all that many new items, that being McDonald's. This is the complete opposite. Taco Bell pretty much releases new things, or at least they re-release various items, on a near continual basis. And they're making a few adjustments to their menu, and this being one of them. For the month of March 2023, they have brought back the double steak grilled cheese burrito, which I've reviewed a couple of times already, so I thought, if there's really nothing else to try, then I'll try that out. I believe in April they are getting rid of the quesarito. Likewise, though, for the month of March, they have brought back the Bacon Club Chalupa. And I thought, I tried that out like 3 years ago. May as well give it another shot. What I always like doing with these sorts of items that haven't been out in a few years, I like trying them out again because, as you, I'm sure, have noticed, the quality of fast food, it fluctuates. It goes up and then it goes back down, and well, we just have to see if they're maintaining the standards or not, where things stand. So the Bacon Club Chalupa from Taco Bell is back, and I'm going to be trying it out in today's review. It's available at the price of $5, so $5 for the chalupa itself. And what it has is a chewy, flaky shell. As you'll see in a moment, it looks very different from your standard taco shell. Inside is grilled white meat chicken, bacon, lettuce, tomato, an avocado ranch sauce, and a 3-cheese blend. It has everything. Not really, but that makes it sound good anyway. And it again is available at the price of $5. I tried this out a couple years ago, as I said, and I didn't have a problem with it, so we'll see how it is this time. Here it is. So this is the typical Chalupa shell, as you could see right there. You could actually see, I'm going to position this paper strategically in case any of that avocado sauce drips out. But as you could see right there, it would actually make a decent thumbnail. I'll take a quick, just in case. But you can get a good look at it. You can actually get a real good view of that green hue to the sauce. You can see some bacon, some of the chicken in there, but the cheese, the lettuce, the tomato. To give credit where credit is due, it actually doesn't look that bad at all. Taco Bell items, as far as visually speaking, can be real hit or miss. And sometimes they can look absolutely disgusting and taste as they look. But in this case, I'll be honest, it looks pretty good. Looks real fresh. It's not just the lighting, but to me anyway, the colors of it really are popping. And it actually looks pretty decent. We'll see how it tastes. But from the visual side of things, purely based on presentation, not bad at all. What I am going to do, if you've been a regular viewer, then you know this is a whole saga now. Yeah, I still have that temporary crown in, so I'm going to pause the camera while I eat, because otherwise, if I were to just dig into this thing, I would be missing a front tooth, most likely, because again, there's just a temporary crown in there. Next week, things should be back to normal, and I won't have to do these cuts anymore, but I'm just going to eat carefully, pause the camera, and then I'll come back, of course. You have a good cross-section of it to look at and give an assessment. So we'll see. It's looking good, and let's find out if it tastes as good as it looks. The Bacon Club Chalupa from Taco Bell. It's going in. Before I get into the assessment, I'm actually going to go and wash my hands, but I just want you to take a look at something because this will tie into what I have to say. If you look at my fingers here, this is the hand I was holding it. I don't know if you could see with the fingertips how oily they are. Keep note of that. All right, now with clean hands, I have returned. So I guess since I kind of got into that, I mean, obviously I wanted to show you that example. That's really the only negative thing I really have to say about this item, because I'll tell you what, it doesn't taste bad at all, and there's actually more substance to this chalupa than I expected there to be. So and actually you'll see, I carefully ate it. Look into the cross-section, and the results are pleasantly surprising. That's okay, I'll get that later. You could actually see that there is a decent portion of meat there. On the bottom is the chicken. That's all bacon right there with the chicken. Then you have the lettuce, the tomato, the 3-cheese blend, and the sauce is kind of mixed in with everything. And I'll tell you what, it all works very nicely together. It blends together well. And as I said, portion size, this is one of the few times that Taco Bell has actually delivered as far as presenting a good amount of the meat. So often, I'll wind up getting an item, be that with chicken or beef, or their famous filet mignon steak, and there's barely any in there. There's like a tiny little morsel, and you have to really, search through it to even find any of the meat. So to actually get something that has as much meat as the advertisement actually portrays is a rarity, but that's a good thing to see, because so often it's the opposite. It tastes good. The chicken and the bacon, as you could see, again, there's a good amount of it. And they're both flavorful too. The chicken is juicy, it's tender. That bacon, it's little bacon crumbles, but it really is quite flavorful. And it adds a nice little, almost like a nice little salty kick to it as well. But it just works real nice. It's a little fatty, but it tastes good. As far as the avocado sauce, this ties in with the one thing that I have a complaint toward. Because the 3-cheese blend is fine, the lettuce and tomato are fresh, they're crisp, they give it a little bit of moisture, which all works out nicely. And again, the bacon and the chicken complement each other, and it's of good quality as well. Granted, as far as Taco Bell is concerned. So the main issue that I have with this is actually the Chalupa Shell itself. And I'm not talking texturally. Texturally speaking, it's fine. Adds a little bit of a crunch. It gives it that firmness, that structure. There's nothing wrong with that. Problem that I have with the Chalupa Shell, it is very oily. It is extremely oily. As a matter of fact, the only thing I could really taste, as far as the Chalupa Shell goes, is oil. It would be as though you had this shell that was like a sponge, and I just imagine you had this bucket of oil, and you dumped it in there, let it just soak up as much as possible, and then you put the stuff in that. So when I showed you my fingers a few moments ago, that was just from gripping the shell just to eat the chalupa, and there's this oily residue that, if I squeezed it, you would literally see the oil and the grease and all of that coming out in literal drops from the chalupa shell. So it is just absolutely soaked in grease and oil, and as a result, in certain bites, especially toward the top, when there might not be too many ingredients there, all you really get is just this overwhelmingly oily shell, and I'm not a fan of that. And if this were lacking on the ingredients, then that shell would single-handedly make what would otherwise be a good item into quite an unpleasant one, quite frankly, because, again, that oiliness is just so excessive that it just gets really monotonous, really old, really fast, and it's like, come on, I just want to taste something different than this. Now, that established, this is where that avocado ranch sauce comes in. What that avocado ranch sauce does, is it complements, or not complements, it balances out. That's the right word for it. I misspoke. It balances everything out. So what otherwise would be excessively oily, a shell, that avocado ranch sauce is able to cut through it. It's able to moderate things out a bit, and it's able to get it to a point where, wait a minute, now I could taste that little bit of that sharpness of the ranch, complemented with that smoothness of the avocado, which is also quite flavorful, and it's able, again, to cut through the oiliness. It ties everything together, it balances everything out, and it's really what saves the day, because otherwise, if it weren't for that sauce, yeah, the ingredients are good, there's a good quality there, good quantity of ingredients as well, but when you have that potent, persistent oiliness in that shell that seeps into every single bite, if it weren't for that sauce, we would have ourselves a problem, and I would be sitting here saying this would have been a darn good item if it weren't for the problems with the shell. But because of that sauce, this is an instance, as we sometimes get, where you have one ingredient that single-handedly saves the day and is able to transform an item that otherwise might not be the best into something that is actually quite good. So that avocado ranch sauce, in this case, really works and it does a good job. So definitely make sure that if you get one of these Bacon Club Chalupas, that it has that avocado ranch sauce on it, because that is a must for this item to be optimally enjoyable. So that said, price $5. Yeah, some people might say, yeah, but the fact that it's reliant on this one ingredient, isn't that kind of saying something about the quality? Yeah, but it's Taco Bell, and you have to remember that too. So, still, factoring everything in, the item is what it is. I'm reviewing what I got. I'm happy with what I got. As a result, out of 10, I'm going to be giving the Bacon Club Chalupa from Taco Bell. I'm going to give it an 8.15 out of 10. That's an 8.15 out of 10. Not bad at all. And yeah, that sauce really saved the day here, I'd say. So, go out and get it if it sounds like something that might be of interest to you. And if you'd like, let me know in the comments what you thought of yours if you wound up getting one of these Bacon Club Chalupas. That's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.